Jai Sri Krishna. So today is Gita Day. Let's do Gita today. And I'm reading from the Holy Gita, commentary by Swami Chinmayanandji. And we are doing the 19th verse of the 13th chapter, 18th verse of the 13th chapter. And we are on page 905. So let me read. The Brahman, the light of all lights, is said to be beyond darkness. It is knowledge, the object of knowledge, seated in the hearts of all, to be reached by knowledge. So now he calls it the light of lights, but let me read a little bit and let's see if I can explain something. Brahman, the illuminator in all, is the one consciousness by which everything is known intellectually, realized intuitively, and experienced spiritually. Since the consciousness in us brings our various experiences within our understanding and knowledge, it is generally compared with light. It is generally compared with light because it is the light of consciousness, right? You see, I think, you not only see with our consciousness, we see our emotions, we see ourselves the way we are. So, the Brahman, the light of all lights, is said to be beyond darkness because it is the very factor that illumines. See, even this, we say that the earth doesn't have its own light. The moon doesn't have its own light. But he talks here of the ultimate light that illumines everything. And then he's probably going to say later that it resides in the hearts of all. It resides, this particular consciousness, because aren't you conscious of everything? Aren't you conscious of your emotions? You're actually even conscious of your own darkness. So since you're conscious of even your own darkness, you're conscious of when you are in deep sleep. Who is it that is conscious when you are in deep sleep? So obviously that same consciousness is present in all. But let me read some of the lines. To see an object, it is not only sufficient that the object is in line with a healthy pair of eyes, but the object must also be bathed in light. Taking this experience in the outer world of cognition as an illustrative analogy, within us too, we must have some light to illumine. Since we can see and have the knowledge of the different types of emotions and thoughts that arise and exist in our bosom. So I think it's something like what I said. But by the light of consciousness, every thought is brilliantly lit in the awareness of our light. Yeah, you can see every thought if you become aware. Thus, it has become a spiritual tradition to call consciousness as light. Now here he calls it also the light of all lights. Because here he reads, to indicate the subject, we have to negate the entire field of us. Sources of light such as the sun, moon, stars, lightning, or even fires are described as having no illumination at all in the blinding luminosity of the self. That means that the self is most luminous. And then he's going to say that is said to be beyond darkness. And then it illumines not only the various sources of light in the world, but also the experience of darkness itself, which is, I think, what I mentioned earlier. And it dwells in the hearts of all, which also I think I mentioned earlier. So this is the verse 18 of chapter 13. And keep on with the Gita. I would say that it will illumine each and every aspect of your life. And every time you read it, it will seem like ever new. Because you're going through a different experience, you have become through a different person. And as they say, you never step into the same river twice. By the time the river has flown by, you are different. But anyway, you take care until our next Gita class, and God bless.